Unemployment rate has dropped to 9.4%.
Guess what? It's gonna be Martin Luther King's birthday. But so do you don't want to know? Two stories of what led. A school board's member has gone permit. You know why? Because it yanks make a threat after Martin Luther King's birthday today. Well, who knows? Well, I have no clue whatsoever. You think the Universal Brotherhood is going to be making sense to you? Find out part 4 of You Know Who, Beethoven's 970 and the Politics. Autographs next. Somebody's got to say it. This is the final closing TimeFactor video commentary thoughts.
Say it with
Happy
me.
birthday,
Say it with me. Come on,
Dr. Martin Luther
Congress.
King.
You're
And guess
cowards.
what? It's me, Alex Music. I hope you have a
Nothing
wonderful weekend as
but
much as
a
we all
group
do.
Of cowards.
And
maybe ignorant
it's gonna be
cowards. How's that one?
Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday.
They started
And today is
yesterday by
January
reading the Constitution.
the 17th in the year
Except it was the
2011.
abridged Constitution. It was without all of that.
And why? Because it makes sense to you. So just have to trust me about that.
With only
Any
to blame.
way.
Would you like to find out more?
I'm too tired.
2112.
So who knows?
Project 2112.
And
Find out now. Repeal Obama. America.org.
want you to take a look. Listen.
GenerationAmerica.org.
This is the watch this whole chilling, surprising results, and here's your worst nightmare ever. It's from the Blaze. Blaze.com. So you might learn something, but who knows? I want you to take a look and watch this, because this is gonna be too interesting.
A communist, plagiarist, and sexual degenerate. That's just part of a controversial commentary aimed at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., even broadcast by a Greeley school board member.
Just a sexual degenerate, an America-hating communist, and a criminal betrayer of even the interests of his own people.
This is a race issue, and it's on the radio in Greeley. Twice a day, tune into 104.7, and you'll hear this.
And his name isn't really Martin Luther King Jr.
That's Brett Reese Broadcasting.
Do you feel like that's an appropriate broadcast for a school board member?
It's, you know what, that's a good question.
These parents say it's
out of line. He could be talking about loss of teacher control in our classrooms, loss of recess for elementary students. Instead, he chooses this, and it's just disappointing.
It's been on the air, incidentally, for 3 years.
But it hasn't been on the air twice a day for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Why twice a day?
Because I guess, personally, I believe in the message of, the general message of what this letter is about.
Reese's claims don't check out, and parents in his school district are embarrassed by the broadcast.
Modern day plastic, I mean, a school board member saying
Right. In my opinion, I think Greeley is a great town. I think that we have people like this that represented in such a poor way that make it look bad.
No business being on the Board of Education in a town with a huge Hispanic population.
Parents we spoke with, they want Reese to resign. He says that's not going to happen. He's going to continue broadcasting that commentary every day up until the MLK holiday. Reporting from the newsroom, Amanda Cost, 7 News.
Well, guess what? That was that's January 9th in the year 2011. Well, guess what? But those statements are valuable remarks allegedly coming from his mouth. Well, guess what? The local law is enforcement. Well, the Denver Post tells us that Reese was trying to threaten you know who. You know who, that's right. KFK, KA, AM owner Justin Sasso on last Wednesday shootout. Whatever happened to, you know who? That's right. What happened to regarding to this, this Martin Luther King subject? Statements. Because the facts are facts, the truth is truth. Well, guess what? According to this Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Come on. Come on. Whatever the Universal Brotherhood, if I do say so myself. Universal Brotherhood is a huge climax to this choral fantasy back in 1808. It was about this bringing this voice to a chorus. So here's a new subject for you out there. And it's gonna be outrageous. So here it is. And it has Mayor Tom Norton, a former state legislator, that Reese's views didn't represent Greeley. Holds a Martin Luther King Day march, and its celebration is to be heard. Well, so who knows? Well, guess what? It was last Tuesday. That's why the school board member in Martin Luther King flaps walks out of meeting. So here it is, a new video of you know who. That's right. So take a look and watch.
New tonight, he called Martin. Listen to what Brett Reese said during his radio show.
He's not a legitimate reverend. He's not a bona fide PhD. And his name isn't really Martin Luther King, Jr. What's left? Just a sexual degenerate, an America-hating communist, and a criminal betrayer of even the interests of his own people.
Now tonight, the board denounced Reese for making those comments. 7 News reporter Kristen Ayers was at that meeting, and Kristen, board members called Reese's broadcast inflammatory and detrimental.
Yeah, and the board agreed on a resolution tonight acknowledging Reese's right to free speech but decrying his message. Reese promptly walked out.
Just a sexual degenerate, an America-hating communist, and a criminal betrayer.
The barbed words that Greeley Evans school board member Brett Reese has been reading on his radio station twice a day accuse Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. of plagiarism and sexual deviancy. Tonight,
he has put a cloud over the students of our district.
The Greeley Evans school board had had enough.
Mr. Reese's words also do not represent this board or this community.
Some parents had suggested censuring Reese. Instead, the board voted on a resolution supporting the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday and decrying Reese's, quote, inflammatory words.
So I think I'm going to object to this.
Reese walked out, but not before lashing out at the media.
So far, everything that Channel 7 has put on has been sensationalized and one-sided.
Reese would not talk to us about the anti-MLK website that he has been directing listeners to during his commentary. 7 News found out it's hosted by a self-described white nationalist group. All the more reason, the Anti-Defamation League said, to reject Reese's rhetoric.
It's important that he cease half-truths and misinformation that he's spreading about Dr. King.
Now, the Anti-Defamation League is calling on Reese to cease these broadcasts. Reese told a local newspaper that he had received death threats over the weekend because of these broadcasts. He did not tell us whether he would cease them. Live.
Now you know what happens next, because Reese has aired editorial things because this is kind of anti. Don't you think Reese? No, Brent Reese. Don't you think you're going too far? 'Cause we're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, okay? And at no time at all. Why you always do anti stuff? Don't you think Universal Brotherhood from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is a cultural thing of brotherly love for Dr. Martin Luther King Day? And this is gonna be worse. Dr. King's speech has one title. It says, "I had a dream." I had a dream. And you dream. And that's why you can go around these events, but you cannot be anti-social thing. Life could be worse. Because the truth has no agenda. Remember that. Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy is here. We're here to celebrate our lives and times of Dr. Martin Luther King. This could be good. Good. And as for Reese, he's nothing but trouble. He can care less. But remember, Reese, you should be nice to Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. Not hating it. He's not a plastic god. He's not an anti-American white communist. He's an African American, and he does this in rallies and all that stuff. As Dr. Schlegel says, we need to visualize this Dr. Martin Luther King Day. And it's going to be good. Trust me about that. So please, whatever you do, just sorry, life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King, and one word, I had a dream. So that's what Dr. Martin Luther King quote this, and we shall overcome someday. Because deep in everybody's hearts, we do believe. Because free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. So that's all I can say. Anyways, don't forget to Facebook me and follow me at facebook.com/LHMusicTime. No. Wait a minute. I did say that wrong thing, so trust me about that. Anyways, don't forget to check my website, lhmusictimefactor.weebly.com. So is Final Closing Time Factor video commentary thoughts from YouTube, Facebook.com, and so is you know who. That's right. Ustream.tv at Final Closing Time Factor video commentary thoughts. Should I say Final Closing Time Factor thoughts.weebly.com. And so is Blogspot as far as we're concerned. Anyways, don't forget tomorrow, part 5 of this you know who. That's right. Look at my fingers. Trust me about that. For this Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and of course the politics. And you might think that it still goes on blaming the conservative media of this thing. Who cares? Can't be civilized. Anyways, we're almost out of time. It's time for us to say goodnight, and so remember, Dr. Martin Luther King lives on forever. So you just had to try this at home. So who knows? Anyways, LH Music, America's Love Festival, Christian Conservative, signing off, and go with God's blessings. See you tomorrow. Good night. Time. Mercury. Don't forget to Facebook me and follow me at facebook.com/LHMusicTime, and so is twitter.com/LHMusicTime. You'll be glad you did.